Welcome to Biz Dev Live. I'm so excited to bring you Purely Imagines David Pascaru today. He's going to talk to you about animation. He's got a great story talking about pivoting in these times. Stay with me. We'll be right back after the Biz Dev theme.
Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. This is business development, not even selling it. This is intelligent. If you watch it, I promise you benefit. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz Dev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T. Biz D with C, brought to you by Cameron T.
David is the founder of Purely Imagined. Purely Imagined, a motion graphics company. Purely Imagined tells your story using custom-made animations. The pandemic has caused them to pivot their businesses in ways they never imagined. David, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Awesome. Hey, Cameron, I'm glad to be here finally.
You are awesomely cute. I appreciate everything that you do, and I gave me the opportunity today to have some like Batman pow and kind of stuff in there and have a good excuse. I was like, I would like to do that every day, but I don't know that it's appropriate every day, but it is certainly more than appropriate today. So tell everybody what you're doing right now.
Sure. So Purely Imagined right now, it's me, my partner, Alan Weck. We are creating motion graphics and animations, using them as promotional or explainer videos for businesses and their marketing. That's what we're doing right now.
All right. And what were you doing before?
Before this? Sure. I'll get into it. So before we were doing the motion graphics and the animation, we were much more of a videography company. We were shooting
which I just want to stop you so everybody can look at the corner. You see David with the camera there. Right. So I know that's a big thing. So you were doing video, you were and Alan's on here on this, so I'm glad we got Alan on there. And everybody else, where are you watching from? So Alan, where are you watching from? Everybody else that's in there, put that in the chat, please. Let me know where you're checking in from, where you're watching from. So you were doing film, you were doing video. We started talking, I know, around events, total event staffing, weddings, that sort of thing, talking about the possibility of that business. And I know that business is going to be crazy come 2022. So at the end of this video, we'll stick a pin in it for now. So I'm going to be interesting if like that's something that you're gonna end up going back to, or if you're fully going, but don't give that away now. We're gonna keep people waiting on that one, right?
You're right.
So talk to us about your story. Why did you get passionate about video? What was your dreams? You're still a relatively young guy, so I want to hear the future, but what sort of was in your mind as you were growing up, and how did it lead to where you are now?
So when I was younger, I always was the guy with the camera. When I was a kid, I picked up my dad's little HD, not HD, little SD tape camera, and I was filming my dog running around the house. After that day, I pretty much knew that I always wanted to use a camera of some sort. Because of that, I was always the kid in the neighborhood that was making movies with their friends, running around, just playing with the camera and making little movies. Then when I was in high school, I joined the video production class naturally. I was in all of the video production activities you could do in high school. That's where I became good friends with Alan Weck, my partner. Him and I were in the video production classes together, and we did a lot of fun, high school movies growing up. I went to the School of Visual Arts for college to pursue the video, film, cinematography career. Alan also did the same. So we've been together making movies and storytelling for a while now. And so I've always just been the video guy.
So I want to talk about it. So you talked about like going around making little movies. So I have a son. He started kind of going around with the camera. He
Cool.
did a YouTube video. I was kind of encouraging him, especially on this during this year. He was doing it a little bit before, but he sort of didn't stay with it. But you stayed with it, right? You
I
stayed
stayed
doing
with
it.
it.
So talk to us about some of the videos, like what that sort of experience was for you, and why did you stay with it? Why did you stick with kind of doing this kind of media stuff?
I think it goes back to storytelling. I guess I've always really liked storytelling, whether it's listening to a story, from a parent growing up or watching movies, cartoons as a child. I guess I was into storytelling, and I could still think about these movies I made when I was 8 years old. It was a witch's family, and I learned that if I could keep the camera going and then pause it, and someone runs away and then hit play again, it looks like they disappeared. So I was able to do those kind of effects, and so it just always had like very little funny ideas that we were kind of just playing around with, short little things that just stuck around, I guess.
And tell me again when you met Alan, because you guys have formed a partnership, and that's something that is elusive on the business front, right? You can enjoy working, you can want somebody to work with to sort of share the burden for you, but that's not always something that's easy to find. One of the things that's been nice as I've been jumping into doing some work with Steve Spiro in terms of LinkedIn Live. We were talking about that before we jumped on live here. One of the amazing things about that has been, okay, he got access to LinkedIn Live. I don't. So poor Cameron, but I get the opportunity to collaborate with him. We jump on it. It's been great. Lots of people paying attention to that. So if anybody's on there, hey, personal brand, good for anybody that's trying to develop their stuff at 2:00 Eastern today on LinkedIn. Come and check it out. But the thing that's been great about that is we got into the conversation early on, and he said, well, yeah, I'm excited about this. And I was like, all right, we'll get on there. And I think his idea was like more like just me and him getting on maybe every week. And I was like, well, I saw what Master Networks does. Chaz Wilson, he was doing lives. I don't know if you paid attention to any of that, but he was going on, and he would have a bunch of people on with him every night. And then he was going on Facebook Live, and he would have like 100+ people. You could see, there in the notification that the 100 people were watching, and so it was building, and there was volume, and there was chats in the comments. I know we've had people checking in, friends and buddies, and not everybody like is gung-ho about jumping into the comments, but I wish they would, because that makes it more fun.
Yeah.
So I saw that was happening over there, and I was like, all right, let me bring it over here to LinkedIn, with Steve now. But we got to bring people, because that was sort of the secret sauce when they moved to like having just like individual regional hosts doing it instead of Chaz with a bunch of people on every night. The energy died out, and people I don't think were in it because the people weren't in the chat. So it's like, why are we doing this? And I know Chaz for a long while was doing it on his own. So and I've been doing this show, and a lot of days I get on and I'm just talking into the camera, and I feel I can say this to you because you're a fellow media guy and know the loneliness of staring into the camera and trying to do something or trying to put something together to garner attention, and
Right.
waiting and watching and saying, well, I guess this mic isn't on, right?
Yeah.
So the point of all this dialogue was he sort of agreed, gelled, said, all right, we're going to do the guests. We got the topics, and he just went going after and getting the dates lined up. I was like, oh, okay, I got to get workflow in place, because he's like throwing all these messages, all these different people. So let me get the Calendly workflow. And now, but every time I put in effort, he's putting in effort. So I was kind of wondering, is that the kind of relationship that you have with Alan? What's kind of made it work? Is there a yin yang kind of thing? Do you both put in equal workload? Is there talents that he has that you don't have? How has that been made to work?
Sure, I'm glad he's listening. He's going to hear me talking about him. So Alan and I'm very fortunate to have become friends with Alan the way I have. I've always said that whenever I was spending a lot of time with Alan, I feel like my creative juices were just going. I'd always have fun ideas. Alan and I were close in college, not so close a little bit after that. And then we started working together again. And I totally felt the difference between being in Alan's presence and not being in Alan's presence. So it's just, I think our two personalities, when they get together, it's just like it's an endless amount of creativity and fun. Alan is, we both have similar personalities, a lot of the same interests, and we do a lot of the same things, but we also have very different interests and different ideas on how we should go about things. And I think that's what makes us a very good partnership, because it's not yin and yang. It's almost like it's yin and yang, but I have some of his yin and he has some of my yang also. So it's kind of like this weird partnership where I feel like we just complete it in a way. I spend a lot of time bouncing ideas off of him, and he does the same. We pretty much spend all day together, where the first thing I do is I'll text him in the morning. And then basically last night at like 11, I was on a video chat with him, even though I was with him all day. We work together all day, and then we'll go and we'll work out together right after that. So we just have that connection that enables us to pretty much do anything. So
what about the biz dev side of it? So, you're building a business together, and usually that aspect is where things sort of fall apart. You get money between friends, between folks that are romantic, for example, like that suddenly becomes this huge barrier to things kind of moving forward the right way. So how has that been? I know I'll give you an example with my marriage, right? So, we were fine. We were having a relationship. We got married. Nothing really changed. We didn't have kids at that point. I had a kid at 19. That's part of my story for anybody that's watching. I don't want to go too deep into that, but one of the things that we sort of made a mistake, or things that we found out we made, is we did this joint bank account, and that was not good news. Like, I make, just for the situation, wasn't like I was stealing money or anything like that, but she didn't have control of her money. And so it just became bone of contention. And so once we separated the money,
okay,
all good.
It works out. Right.
So did you have some stuff that you guys had to learn like that? Is there something?
I think, yeah, I definitely think so. We very early on in this transition of learning how to do the motion graphics and animations, Alan dove into the creative side and into the animation side. He was spending hours watching the online classes and taking the tests and just learning the softwares. I noticed this, and I thought, I'm not going to just follow behind him. We both don't need to know how to do this. Let me go learn the other stuff. So I went and I learned the business development and the sales and the networking and that other side. So we've organically created two different departments in our company, with the creative and the business. It was never a conversation. It's just because we are both good friends, we know each other's personalities, and it only made sense that Dave goes out and talks to people 5 days a week, and Alan learns how to do the animations and do the creating. It was just an organic, much like everything else we've done in the last 6 months. It's all been very organic, which is why I'm very hopeful for where we're headed, because we're not forcing anything. It's just happening. I
love that. And let me say, one of the interesting things that's so I saw the video that Alan produced. Is that on the website? Can I go and pull that from the website right now? Yeah, I think I can, right? The introduction video.
I don't know if I've ever put that on our site, but it's definitely on our
I'm going to go look at the website. So I'm going to pull it up. So I want you to talk about Facebook. I want you to talk about some of the things that you've been doing, because I thought that was incredibly insightful from a biz dev perspective, because you're handling more of the business side, he's handling more of the creative side. And even in stories, you familiar with who Barbara Corcoran is?
Yes, great story.
Right? So she's a shark, part of the show, purchasing business, all that good stuff for everybody that's watching, so you don't lose me. But she talked about, in building her very, very, very successful, and in seeing her talk, it was so interesting because, Trump was a real estate developer. And so she talks about like stroking and working his ego. And I don't want to say playing him, but, definitely how she understood the sales process. So, listening to her story, and for anybody that's in that biz dev space of trying to sell stuff, very, very worthwhile to go pick up her book, Shark Tales. There's so much in it. And she, when she speaks live, she shares a lot from that book, and it's very impactful. But the idea of, as she was in her business, there was very much like an organization person, which was not her, right? There was very much like the purse strings responsible person. And then she was like the creative. She was the one that went out and did the amazing sales pitches. And, there's one piece of the book where she's contrasting back to like her country home roots of, the neighbors, in the next barn over kind of thing, or down the way in the barn, saying, we have this puppy that we are selling, or I don't know what was given away, but they created demand because they had all the people show up at once. So now you got a bidding war for the puppy. Well, she's in the real estate thing. And so they did that with these condos that they couldn't sell. She gamed it and made it so everybody was, and then it was like she triggered it with the gaming system. Like they all had to go run. And so these apartments that nobody was selling, they're suddenly selling. So I think that's a great, great story. But here's this amazing woman. She needed somebody to help on the biz dev side with this aspect of it. She's good at that. She's good at that creative stuff, but like making sure that the bank accounts are done. Right. So talk to us a little bit about that, if you could expand on that, and then talk to us about what you're doing with the video for people in their businesses. I'm going to challenge, because I know Alan did that video for his introduction, but I'm wondering where the David Pascaru.
I have one. I played it twice today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's new. It's just on my desktop, so I don't know if I can share, but.
All right. Well, we'll play with that for the next time around. But listen, I'm going to go to the website and I'll post some stuff up. So talk to us about what you're doing for your clients.
Sure. Yeah. So for our clients, we are creating one-of-a-kind motion graphics and animations. Like these. We didn't create these. We are. So we like to speak with our clients and figure out really what they're trying to what they want to get across. What their message is. A lot of times people don't know what their message is. They just know they need to do some sort of marketing. We have a very unique way of going about it, instead of just doing a normal blog post or a video or just photos. That's why people come to us, because they want something that's different, that stands out. The motion graphics and the colors, all very eye-catching and engaging, and that's sort of our positioning, is that we can grab your audience attention and will make them engage with the ad, and then they're going to engage with your brand, and then they're going to engage with your company. So that's basically what we're doing for companies, is just getting their name out there in a different way. We're doing a lot of logo animations right now. So companies send us their logo, we'll put it in a fun scene or move it around a little bit. And it just, again, it's just something that no one else has. So it makes you stand out. People want to click and engage with you. The video that Cameron is mentioning, Alan, he characterized himself. He's talking, he's giving a little promotional during it. That's something we're working on now. I have one as well. It's a very fun process to turn yourself into a cartoon, and then you can you just record your voice and we mess around with it, and you can give information, and you can just, like I said, just stand out. So this here, we did this for so we did this for a book cover for Rick Gabrielli, The Currency of Connection. We spoke with him. He said, I need to promote my book. I don't know how. Instead of just doing an interview with him or anything like that, we grabbed the soundbite from his audio, from the audio on the Kindle, and we just thought, let's get people's attention. Let's bring the cover to life, which is exactly what we did. And then you hear Rick's voice. At the end, you see Rick's picture. The whole thing lasts, I think, like 20 seconds, and that's our sweet spot.
So I'm going to play this, but I want to give a shout out to Rick Gabrielli, who tells an amazing story. So if you want to see a great episode and somebody who's a great storyteller, I don't want to take time away from what we're doing now to retell that story, but it's a great story to go. So go watch Rick Gabrielli's episode. But this is for his book. Shout out to Rick, and we're going to play it now.
Sure.
Power energizes, supports, gives life and energy. The currency of connection is rooted in power.
Gotta love that.
Yeah, you put your little, you added some motion graphics to it at the end there.
So,
It's a good edit.
One of the things that's really incredible about that piece to it is that as the cover of his book, it's really meaningful. It's really powerful. What sort of is your inspiration? What's your kind of piece? And like, where are you guys trying to take this business? Because for me, and I'm going to do a little like in the moment biz dev with you, because I see so many possibilities when I see this, right? So where are you guys, what's the game plan here? I know you're doing these kind of advertisement things that with Rick Gabrielli. I don't know. I'd love to get some comments going from the folks that are watching. But the idea of what'd you guys think of that? And for me, it was amazing. So what are you going to do for folks going forward? Who are the people that you're looking to work for? And then on the other end of it, I'm really like, what content are you guys creating for yourselves outside of sound bites?
Sure. So our goal for this business is really to just grow it. I would really like to, Alan, I would like to be managing people that are doing what we're doing now. And then that means Alan and I can focus on finding new clients, building more relationships, and coming up with more ideas. We like to come up with the ideas. We're the storyteller. So right now we're doing the storytelling and the technical work. And the plan would really be to grow it and do more of the storytelling. That's our overall goal. The clients we're trying to reach and the people we want to talk to right now really are just business owners that want to do marketing or are doing marketing and just want to do it in a different way. They want to stand out. That's pretty much who we've been working with the most lately. We're working on getting in different fields, like the medical research field for explainer videos. A medical research company has to pitch a lot of their ideas to investors, and they're talking heavy science. We want to kind of, dumb it down in a fun, animated way so that investors can understand and, hire that company. So explainer videos is where we are headed as well. We've recently, you might see it on the site, we recently did a Christmas scene for a client. We animated Santa Claus having a snowball fight, and that to me was kind of an eye-opener. I was like, wow, this was our first narrative scene we've created from start to finish. It's a story. There's no text. It's not funny icons jumping around. It's a cartoon movie. And I really see the possibility making commercials in that sense. We've pitched a few of it in the last few weeks, actual scenes, not just text and moving icons. So in the upcoming future, the plan is to create more animated scenes to promote businesses. And then the long goal is to just build the company. And who knows, maybe at some point we will just be creating animated movies and having a good time like that. That's all I got on that.
Bear with me, and I got my graphics on the screen.
I'm hiding.
Bear with me, everybody. All right, moving everything. It's just me over here moving all the stuff. So I'll throw another video up here. I was trying to find the Santa one that you were talking about, but on the biz dev side of things, on the idea of like how you're going to grow, I think every company is a media company, and you guys are a media company in the sense that you're creating media. So I would love to see you guys doing lots and lots. People are going to pay you to do advertising, right? They're paying you to advertise their business. They're going to pay you lots of money to advertise. And one of the criticisms that I have for like people that are in the social media game, marketing game, I'm going to improve your social media. We're going to take your brand from this to da, 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 right? And then you go and look at their social media profiles. They're not all that amazing. They're not all that, the numbers aren't where. So it doesn't give me a lot of faith that you're going to do something for me that you haven't done for
Right.
yourself. And so my only kind of thing is like, all right, you know, you guys have an amazing talent to promote yourselves. I see the link. Thank you. I'll get into that in a minute.
No problem.
But you guys have an amazing talent with the animation. I'd love to do see you doing, if you guys can got the bandwidth to do these movies that you could sell to Netflix and Disney Plus in terms of like, shorts and then, work your way up when you got, because I don't know what the work involved. And then that would be kind of cool to hear about some of the work on the back end that goes into it for you as well. Like how long does this stuff take and all that. But I would love to see you guys double down on advertising for yourself. And for everybody watching, that's getting into that idea of being an entrepreneur. I just had a conversation with the person before I jumped on with you with BizDev Live today, and they're in that space of looking for that opportunity. They're a consultant / ready for employment kind of person. And my advice to them in not so many subtle ways was become the brand, become the thing that people want. And think with the business models, because there's so many different business models and so many different things that you can do, that you can create revenue from, you get to a certain point on YouTube, you're creating revenue, right? And all of these things take an investment. We talk about investing in the stock market. We talk about investing over here, saving money. Well, media cachet is an investment. The more videos that you guys are putting up, the more you display your talent, the more you bring them in. And then if you got 1,000 different videos that are funny and interesting, that also happen to mention purely imagined, I can imagine that,
Right.
sales are going to go through the roof for one. And secondly, when you go to all those different business models, now it's not only like, okay, we go out to person X and we're selling a commercial. It's all these other avenues start popping up because you have a social following. So now not only are you a place that people go to work with you because you're going to do something creatively in terms of design, but they want to work with you because they want to be on your social media feed. They want to be featured on your YouTube channel, right? And so what does that do to the value of what you're selling?
Right. Yeah, we definitely have doubled down on our own promotions. Part of the little animated soundbite, we're playing around with an idea of where I'm going to probably try to post it regularly on LinkedIn as if I am walking down the street. I walk my dog a lot and listen to business books. So the whole little series is going to be me, like, walking my cartoon dog, giving a little bit of advice on whatever we're working on that week. We've recently created a newsletter in the last few months that we try to send out at least twice a month, if not more. I call it Saturday Morning Cartoons. I'm just trying to, hit your nostalgic area when you see it and just make you, think nice, warm thoughts of when you were a kid eating cereal, watching cartoons. I want you to see that in the morning, click on it, and then see our most recent work. We've also doing a blog a lot just to be able to give out our thoughts and explain. I've talked about our story. Alan's talked about the importance of motion graphics, and I've created a calendar that says how many times I should post on LinkedIn, how many times I should post on Instagram, Facebook, and so you will be seeing us pop up in your feed a lot more often. That's part of our plan.
That is good news. So
yes.
So here we go. We got a
story
ride through time. This is it.
This is it. Premiere. Wow.
Get your popcorn. Okay. Glad you got
30 seconds. 40 seconds.
All right, here we go. Well, there he is. Oh, Santa's mad.
Nope. What's up?
So this is for a client's Christmas present. I hope their family's not watching it. And it's going to play their home video after that. So it's like Christmas 1983 and then home footage following that.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So there's so many uses for that. That's such an
Yeah.
amazing one. I really dig it. What
you.
are some of the things that you are hoping to do that you have not done yet?
Some of the things we're hoping to do that we have not done yet is make more of those scenes, not all Christmas related or holiday related, just some sort of scene with a person moving around. That's our big goals. We want to start creating a podcast. Ideally, Alan and I find ourselves at 5, 6 o'clock every night, sitting in his room, kind of contemplating where we're going to be and what we want to do and what we don't like about what just happened. And so we want to maybe start recording some of that and putting it out there. We want to start working with as many marketing agents as possible. We really see the value that we can bring to a marketing firm. They produce content. We only produce content. So I want to provide value through them, increase their value and and give us more work. I think that that's something that would really help us out, is to just find the right marketing agents to partner with, or I have this client, we want this video, here you go, guys, do your thing. And that's what we're really looking for.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what we were talking about before in terms of like putting the content out there, because you're going to get those relationships.
Right.
We didn't talk, how did you meet Alan again? Tell us real quick.
Alan and I met in high school.
So you're in high school,
college.
So how did you become friends in high school?
Just the same, our personalities. We're just having a good time. How do you become friends with anyone in high school? Yeah, just having a good time.
So that is really important, I think, for a lot of people to understand. Like, how do you make friends? Oh, we're just having a good time together. And so as you're like in sales, relationship building mode, I think a lot of what we do in the business owner kind of sense is creating that energy where we're just going out and having fun. I think, and you see it, right? Where you're networking enough. There are people that they just don't look like they're having fun doing what they're doing.
I see it.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, and I you're like, oh, what can we do to get you doing the thing that you're truly passionate about? But that's where people are. So I think those kind of relationships are going to come for you. And I think it's a relevant conversation to have with, while everybody's, watching this and checking out this video in the future, this idea that if you are having a blast and you're creating this energy, you're creating this positivity from what you're doing, the world will come and find you. And I truly believe that. There's a lot of stuff that's happened this year. For anybody that's watching that doesn't know, right? There's this whole COVID thing. It's a little challenging, right? But for myself, and I don't want to brag by any means, because we've had a challenging year. Tote event staffing, the business has been devastated in terms of being able to send staff out. There's been a lot of hardship on the waiters, the bartenders, the chefs, the kitchen assistants that aren't necessarily tech savvy and can't go animate videos and can't go run virtual meetings and don't feel comfortable in that space even. I've been fortunate that, I jumped in this and I really like doing it. And I think that's something that's really important for people to understand, is if you find that thing that you like doing and you're able to do the technical components that allow the business model to flourish. And we're all very lucky to have the phones that we can stick up. So when you were saying, I'm thinking about kind of doing a podcast or something like that with Alan, I'm sort of like, yes, because I think that, focus on developing content, developing who you guys are on the personal brand level. I'm going to be talking about this later with Steve and the expert panel crew that we got, which Rob Genovese, who who talks all about marketing and brand, and that idea that if you want to attract your ideal client, which is what we're talking about, right? We want these people to come and find us. If you want to track your ideal client, you got to be very consistent about putting that out. And I guarantee you guys are going to have an incredible amount of success, because I see you guys having a lot of fun. So you just got to keep that going. I was going to say before, I got sidetracked, but I just recently listened to a podcast. Why should, anybody that's listening, anybody else, why should you do a podcast? I was just recently listening to a podcast. People listen to podcasts, right? I was doing my workout. I can't watch TV. I'm going to listen to my podcast. I'm going to learn something. And so not everybody can do a murder mystery thing. I'm not into murder mystery, but there's a whole lot of people that are into murder mystery. So if you're a murder mystery aficionado, there's a lot of room for you to grow on the podcasting circuit, that kind of thing. But I'm listening to this podcast and I'm learning. And one of the things that he talked about was it was a interview with Obama, and I'm not going to say her name. I'm going to mess it up right now, murder. But it was somebody that was interviewing him, and she mentioned this general, this admiral that was a prisoner of war. And they were talking about in the interview that she had listened to, right? Because she was listening to the podcast or show, whatever, that he was asked who made it through. So we're going through some rough times right now. You may not be a prisoner of war, so to speak, but you may be a prisoner of your house or state or whatever, right? The people that aren't in this, and that sounds a little weird, right? Because like, aren't we supposed to be optimistic? Aren't we supposed to be like all over the place, happy and positive? He said the folks that, when Christmas came and they weren't out, they're disappointed. Right, because they were optimists. They were like, "Oh, we'll be out by Christmas. We'll be out by Easter." And then there was this huge letdown. So the point of all that was combining faith that things are going to work out with the realistic self-survivor. I'm going to get through this. So you can imagine yourself. You're trapped in a hole in a prison cell. What's the thing you need to tell yourself to get through this? I can do this. I can get through this. This is how I got to prep my mentality for this. And I got to keep hope and faith, because without that, then you just lost in despair, right? But I can do this, and I'm faithful that somehow, but I'm not expecting that I do video number 1 or podcast number 1. I get to podcast number 5. I had Mike McCallan on, who's like a professional podcaster, that guy that does podcasts for associations. And I think there's some statistic that most podcasts last to like the 7th episode. So if you can get past the 7th episode, you're like, in the 90th percentile of success. You passed many of the folks that were before you. So tell me, who are the people that you are really looking to connect with? You're networking like crazy, which was the whole point of that story, is that I think you're in that place, like you understand that there's work to be done and you're doing it. Alan's putting the work in, obviously, getting these videos created and all that jazz. So who are the people that you definitely want to connect with? People that maybe not even necessarily that they're looking for an advertisement, but people that you want to just connect with. I know you talked about, medical field and everything, but are there people that you're looking to connect with that would add a piece to your business aside from a marketing person or a pharmaceutical person? Is there somebody that you're looking for that would add something crucial to the team for you and Alan? Are there people that you're looking to connect with for ideas? Are there people that you're looking to connect with for business growth, financial, what are all the different things that you're looking for? And then please let people know how they can get in touch with you. I have thrown your LinkedIn address down below and off over to the side. So that is there.
Sure. Yeah. Well, first of all, Cameron, I think that you are a star example of the consistency and the fact that everybody can tell that you are having fun, and that's why you're doing it. I watch your Facebook lives daily, and I'm one of the few people, there all the time cheering you on, answering your comments. And I think that you found out the technology, you play with it all the time, and it's obvious that you're enjoying yourself. So you're going to keep it up, and the consistency is definitely there. As far as the people we're looking to connect with and to work with, like I said, I think a marketing agent, any sort of advertising sort of firm is exactly who would like to start talking with, somebody that could add value to us, or part of the team. Recently, I've started talking to a lot of video producers. At a time, year ago, 6 months ago, another video production company was a competitor of mine. I wanted to do their work too. But now that we have transitioned to doing motion graphics and animations, I only see myself as an asset to video producers. They want a fun credit scene instead of just having the black credits. We can create a scene for them. If they can't go out and shoot right now because of COVID restrictions, their jobs are getting canceled, but they still need to tell the stories for their clients. We can provide value in that. So video producers is a new thing that I've gone out and started talking with a lot as well. We have been doing a lot of intro, outro animations for people who are revamping their YouTube pages and their video blogs. That's someone that I've seen can definitely help us out a lot. Those kinds of clients. We also today,
So, yeah, I'm interested in that as well. I wanted to talk to you, and I'll definitely follow up with you on that because I have my biz dev like slides that play. I'm not a post content producer. I'm actually talking to a VA, and I'll give you that information as well. Anybody that's interested in that, I started working with somebody in the Philippines to sort of help me on some of the video editing stuff. So like having all that stuff in the mix is great. And I think your partner had something to chime in with as well.
Yeah, he mentioned graphic designers. Graphic designers are big for us. We want to work with them and help them as well. We, they've just helped move the process along. One day, our goal is to have an in-house graphic designer, in-house animator, and move forwards that way. Graphic designers, good call, Alan. He's always got my back, you see.
This is the time to mention the website name, spell it out, let them know.
Sure. So it's purelyimagine.com, PURELYIMAGINED.com, purelyimagine.com. We update it pretty regularly. You can go there, sign up for our newsletter, Saturday Morning Cartoons, sign up for our blog, and you'll just learn a lot more about Alan and I and what we do in our spare time and how that inspires us to create the work we do. On LinkedIn and on Facebook and Instagram, we're pretty regular posters there. I have recently started posting longer form posts on LinkedIn and on Facebook, talking about a movie I just watched, a cartoon I just watched, and how they made it, why that animation was special, and why it stuck out to me. And that's something I'm having a lot of fun doing, getting to watch something and then talk about it.
That's on YouTube?
That's on Facebook and LinkedIn.
So
you'll find our long form articles.
This is really important, right? So this is the media strategy. So yes, post it on Facebook. I post this show on Facebook.
Right.
Yes, post it on Facebook. YouTube is where you bank the media. I know you guys do stuff on Vimeo, but Google is the #1 search engine in the world.
Right. YouTube is, yeah.
Right.
We upload, we have some on YouTube, and
so I would definitely get your content on YouTube. I know there's the whole thing about ownership of content and all that jazz, but I would play on the edges, make sure you're comfortable. But I would bank your content there because I used to post dance videos for the nonprofit that I work for on YouTube. So I really haven't had much over like 100 views for a single BizDev Live episode. But those dancing videos, which I had to remove from the stream so people didn't get confused from the playlist. So you can dig around and find them on my channel, but they're not going to come up, obviously, because I've removed them from like the playlist and the most popular video when you go there. But those videos received thousands of views, but those were taken back in like 2009, 2010. They've lived on YouTube. They're media, they're entertainment, they're dancing, the kids will watch, but thousands of views. And who am I, right? And so my channel already has over 40,000 views because I had this banked content from 2010. So it's like saving money. The sooner you start doing it, the more it's going to pay off.
Right.
All right. That's been my big message for the days. So I'm going to let you say goodbye to everybody. Let everybody know the website one more time. And I know that what part of Master Networks are you in? Which chapter are you?
Our Purely Imagine's in the Mid-Rockland group, Wednesdays at 10. Rob Genovese is the president. Alan is there with his cartoon animation.
All right. So let everybody know the website one more time and say goodbye.
All right. Thanks for having me, Cameron. That's purelyimagine.com. Check it out. And yeah, thanks again.
You are awesome. Thank you. BizDev team incoming now.
BizDev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. BizDev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. BizD with C, brought to you by Cameron T. BizD with C, brought to you by Cameron T. This is business development, not even selling it. This is intelligent. If you watch it, I promise you benefit. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. Leadership and motivation, empathy and inspiration. BizDev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. BizDev Live, weekdays at 11 Eastern Time. BizD with C, brought to you by Cameron T. BizD with C, brought to you by Cameron